Okay, so heading into the second part of our mission, vision, and values chapter. So, in our introduction video, we talked about mission and vision and how they play a foundational role in the planning dimension of the POLC, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling framework. However, of course, mission and visions are also related to the other three, to organizing, to leading, controlling as well. So we are starting with the organizing component here. So remember from chapter one, what is organizing? Organizing is really the foundation. It's the function that management, it's a function of management, I should say. That means we develop an organizational structure. At the organizational level, we structure our organization. We can departmentalize. We have different ways of arranging that structure. And then we allocate people on the basis of that structure. So we are making sure that people are in the right place, the right person in the right place to execute on our mission, vision, values, and our strategy. And the purpose of doing this is meeting the goals that have been aligned with the mission, vision, and values. So the organizing part then, organizing, O, includes organizational design, staffing, and culture. So this slide that we're looking at right now lays out the organizational cultures. This is really a new topic for us in this class. We've talked about design and a little bit of staffing when we talked in our earlier chapters. So what is culture? Culture tends to be a very abstract phenomenon. There are artifacts of culture, and we're going to talk about that in later chapters, not in this one, where we can visibly see part of the culture, but artifacts are not everything. Culture is really a system of shared assumptions, values, and beliefs. So it's the things we think, it's the values we hold important, and the beliefs that we have as employees, majority of our employees in an organization, and these lead into appropriate and inappropriate behaviors. So some behaviors become acceptable, even if they're, good behaviors or not, right? They might help the organization achieve a success or not. You might have a culture that is actually negative for the organization. So we have this intangible web and norms that dictate to us what's important and how we behave. And this organizational culture, as we see in the second bar here, is really a summation that comes from all of our interactions over time. So as employees interact with each other, communicate with each other, and behave together, right, in certain ways, that becomes the culture. And that is then the history that we socialize our newcomers into. They see the culture that we have, the interactions that we have with each other, and then they adapt to it. So that is how culture is sustained then. So the company culture is the sum of our collective life experiences, strengths, weaknesses, education, upbringing, and other attributes of the employees. So who you are, you of course bring into the workplace, and that feeds into your interactions with other people. And so the last bar here talks about leadership versus other employees within the organization. And technically, culture is defined and set by executive leadership, but in reality, everybody within the organization who behaves a certain way are actually contributing to culture. So culture is really minute by minute, day by day, our interactions, our communications constantly with each other and how we do that. So if you want to change a culture, you need to start communicating and behaving differently. Mission, vision, and leadership. So leadership is one of those topics that keeps coming back frequently within this field, of course. So we know what leadership is, or what leading is. It involves influencing other people towards the attainment of goals of the organization, or the attainment of organizational objectives. So we as executives, as managers, as leaders, team leads, project managers, just peers maybe, anybody can be a leader, We are influencing people to move towards the goal of the organization. So we are getting people to behave in a certain manner by our leadership. That's what a leader does. So leading, leaders, leadership, they're all closely connected with the notions of mission and vision, because that's the goal of the organization, the overall overarching goal of the organization. Think about it, right? A very purposeful person can often be described as being on a mission, right? What is a mission? A mission of the organization, who we are. You're a purposeful leader, you're on a mission. And the success of many top leaders and entrepreneurs clearly flows or comes from their personal mission. You have this passion, you have this idea, you're excited to execute it. So the leader is executing on their personal mission. And as leaders in big organizations, in government or any other organization where you're employed, we now lead our employees to execute on our mission and vision and our goals and objectives. So the more that a mission or current vision challenges, the more that a mission or vision challenges the current state, right? So we have status quo, who we are today. We have the mission and vision that tells us where we're going in the future, or the vision tells us where we're going in the future. If that vision is markedly different from the current state, we now need change leaders. So not just a regular person leading, that still has to be charismatic and excite their employees, but now we also need a change leader. And the change leader is a person who can help spread the new word, the revolutionary philosophy, the new vision where we're going. When the leader, whoever that is it the founder, if you're in a startup, or the CEO in a big organization, if they're not present, right? Remember, the CEO or the founder is just one person. And so we need other people that can spread the word on the vision. So now we need change leaders. Mission, vision, and leading. Lastly, we have vision, mission, and control. It should be mission, vision, and control, right? So controlling, again, this comes from chapter 1. Summary, remember, we ensure that the performance does not deviate from standards that we have set. That is controlling. In an organization, we are concerned with performance, so we can get stuff done. And we have set a standard, a performance standard already. This is where we want the performance to be. And now we need to check whether or not that performance meets, exceeds, or falls below that standard. And we call that controlling. So there are 3 steps when we do this. We have the first one, which is we establish those performance standards. So we set the standards to which we want the performance to at least meet, preferably exceed. Now we go out and we look at the performance. What are you doing on Tuesday afternoon? Are you working towards a goal? Are you accomplishing the projects? Are you chatting with your friends by the water cooler? You're comparing actual performance against the standards. And then if performance falls below the performance standards, now we need to take corrective actions, right? Are you not able to do your job? Maybe we need to train you. Are you just not motivated to do your job? Maybe we have to discipline you. Are you exceeding? Maybe you're high potential and we need to send you off to some additional management training and development opportunities. We might give you on-the-job training or let you job shadow. So whatever that is, we take action based on the results of this comparison right there, right? So that's the third and final step. For SHRM, we have something new on this slide that we haven't discussed earlier in this textbook. And we're coming back. One of the last chapters of this book deals with SHRM, which is Strategic HR Management. Strategic HR Management. Or strategic HR, I should maybe spell out HR too, strategic human resources management. So when we are making decisions about people, that's the HR part, the human resources part. These decisions should be integrated with the decisions about the results we're trying to achieve, right? So we have our vision that sets the future. We have our mission that tells us who we are today. From those comes the goals and objective. what we need to achieve. We set performance standards for what people need to perform. And now we're making decisions about people, where they're supposed to be in the organization, who's doing what, who's communicating with what, who's working with whom to get what done. And these decisions then need to be integrated with what we're trying to achieve. So, what kind of benefits are we offering? What kind of compensations do we have? What kind of reward system possibly do we do? What kind of demographics do we have within our workplace? Who are we hiring and recruiting? So, all of these strategic human resources management decisions need to be aligned with the whole structural part, mission, vision, values, so on and so forth, with the company. Okay, a lot of talking for 3 short slides, but that is how we are integrating mission, vision with organizing, leading, and controlling.